how do I do the two players? So I can. Yeah. You know how to set up the board?
So set it up in.
Yeah, just the analysis board. I can maybe move back and forth, right?
Or the analysis board. If you go to, is that not on the? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Is it not on the? If you go to learn.
Which one? Play, right? And here.
Yeah, so go to learn. I think that's under learn. So if you go to.
This is the analysis.
Okay, analysis setup. Okay.
Analysis setup, right? And how do you? Okay, play. No.
So go to the left. Go to learn.
Where? To the left.
To learn. Go to learn. So click on learn.
Where is that?
Yeah, on the left-hand side here. If you come to the panel here on the left-hand side, way left.
Way left.
Yeah, keep going left. So learn under play, puzzle, learn.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I have this. Okay, play, learn. Okay.
And do analysis. Yeah, learn and analysis. Oh, I thought I just saw it now.
Okay, learn, analysis. Okay. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, then that's the analysis
This
board.
is
Yeah.
the correct way, right? So I can move around just like this. Okay, I can. Okay.
It depends. It depends on the platform. I don't know which one you typically use to teach, but
Yeah, I normally use the analysis board, but this is good enough. I also have this windows. I show this game at the end. So you want me to leave like 15 minutes, 20 minutes questions at the end? I mean, it could be interactive, right?
That's right. That's right.
You can ask questions anytime and then just jump in and out, you know.
Yeah, that's fine.
We only need like 10 minutes at the end to wrap up the session.
Okay.
Right? But I mean, as we go, they can ask any questions
Okay.
On their mind so they don't forget, right?
Okay.
I also will ask them some questions as I go. I ask them some questions, right?
Okay.
So I think the objective is to get them. With 1 hour we cannot do much, right? So I just want to introduce them to like the next level, how they want to improve their game.
Yeah.
Right? Basically, I will ask some questions too, so they're on the right track. So basically, just to get know them as well, right? So
Okay.
yeah, I asked a few questions, and I will advise some phase of the games they have to improve. Basically, this is under 15, right? 1500. So there'll be plenty of rooms for improvement. So I will suggest something. So I will probably talk about the openings first, right?
Okay.
Try to have them learn about some rules and openings, right? And as well as how to build their repertoire. right? So because if I put myself into their shoes, right, when I were 1500, how to improve the games, right?
Yeah.
Basically, that's it. That's the 1 hour. Probably not enough, but a lot of material to cover. And at the end, if you have time, I will show them one of the classic games I have there. This is a fantastic game, one of the very game from Rubinstein, classic. I'll show them a little bit how it was played. Classic games, classical games, good. Right?
Okay.
Okay, so I'll just wait for. So how many
Okay. So I
people?
think we're gonna start.
In 5 minutes, right? 4 minutes.
Yeah, in 5 minutes. So we have 14 people here now. So that's good. Okay. So everyone here, just make sure you can hear and speak.
Yeah, testing. You hear me okay? And you can talk too.
And so if you're online, if you want to speak, you have to unmute yourself. I believe you can all do that. But if you can't, just let me know and we can fix that. And Nathan, I don't know if you're familiar with Zoom. Do you want me to make you the host so you can control stuff?
Um, I'm not that familiar, but do I
Okay.
need to?
No, you don't need to.
I don't need to, right?
Okay, all right.
Are
I'll
you
go.
going to be here
Yeah,
all
I'm gonna be
along?
around.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I need your help.
Yeah.
I will just share my screen and just.
Okay, all right. So I'm just gonna make a few announcements.
Yeah, 2 more minutes.
Okay, so welcome everyone. I just want to make sure that you can all hear myself and I am Nathan here. So if you can hear me, just let me know. Maybe drop a chat and just to let me know that you can hear us. Okay, awesome. And if you can unmute yourself, I just want one person to try it. Try and speak. Let me make sure you can unmute yourself.
Yeah, maybe just introduce yourself. 1 minute, 30 seconds, just to the name, where you are, and what is your experience with chess, so I know a little bit the level of everybody.
All right, who wants to go first?
How old are you?
Wait, so
Don't be shy.
I want to go first.
Okay, go ahead.
Can I go next?
Yes.
I'm Gayatri, and I am SK.
Oh, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, who's next?
And me?
Yeah, go ahead.
So should I just show my favorite opponent?
No. Just say your name and how long you've been playing chess.
About 2 years now. My first tournament was it was an Elevate My Chess winter tournament maybe. I kind of forgot, but
Oh, okay.
I still kind of remember.
And
Okay,
how old are
awesome.
you? How old are you?
11.
11. Okay.
Okay, awesome. Okay, one more person to introduce, then we're gonna get started.
Can I introduce
Yeah,
myself?
go ahead. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Brendan. I'm playing chess for like I think 4 years.
Okay.
Now I'm 11 years old and I'm uncomfortable with people I don't know playing chess. I was like on a lose streak yesterday.
Okay, awesome. All right, so we're gonna get started now. So today we have I am Nathan. He's gonna be teaching with some examples. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna ask all of you to put yourself on mute. But if you have questions, you can unmute yourself and ask. Okay. All right, so just put yourself on mute so we'll keep it quiet so everyone can hear and follow. And you can also type your question in the chat if you want to. So I am Nathan, maybe from time to time you can look at the chat. Okay, all right, so let's get started. And remember, there's a tournament at 7 o'clock, so don't forget to join us, okay? All right, enjoy the lecture.
All right. Welcome everyone to this lecture. So today what I would like to talk to you about is how to improve your game, right? So basically, you guys, this session is about under 1500, right? So as I see, you have been playing chess for a couple of years. So what would be the next level you want to improve your game, right? So by the end of this 1 hour, hopefully we can answer some of the questions that you might have. For example, how do you um, improve your game? Basically, what are the factor that will impact your games? Okay, and especially I would like to um, show you how to build your repertoires, right? Because when you start playing chess, I guess you want to learn the opening, how to play the opening, right? And there's a lot of openings out there. So sometimes you don't know what to play. So basically, also by the end of this 1 hour, you would have more idea on what type of openings you want to play, as well as also learning some of the basic rules of the opening, right? And I mean, you can ask many questions that you might have during the lecture, and you're welcome to just interrupt me, jump in out, and ask me questions so I can have the interaction with you, answer your questions, and also at the end of the session, I will show you classic games. Yeah, go ahead. Someone speaking? We're good. All right. So, and at the second half of the session, I show you a classic games, a very famous game by Rubinstein. And this is a beautiful game. So I would like to show you that as well. And we will have another 10 minutes, 5, 10 minutes at the end to have to wrap up if you have any other questions. All right, so let's start. So the first thing I would like to ask you is, for example, right now you guys under 1500, right? So what would make you to become a next level, like advanced player under, let's say 800, 1800, or even an expert, right? So you want to improve your game. So just like a few seconds, can you let me know what you think, what would make you improve your game?
Mine's kind of thinking positionally because I love to attack in a position. I love to attack in a position, but I don't think positionally when I'm defending my pieces. So that's what I would like to improve on.
Okay, so you're more into like tactical middle game, how to attack and defense, right?
Yeah, I'll like attack and defend at the same time.
Right. Okay. That's good. That's one good factor. Anybody else?
I would like to like play less recklessly because like every once in a while I like make a pretty dumb mistake and like it ends up costing me losing.
Right. Okay. So that's part of the tactical, part of the calculations, right? You have to be able to calculate well. That's one of the important factor in your games, right? Even though if you play correct games, the whole game, but we just make one mistake, you will lose the game, right? You know that.
I need to work on my middle game.
Right. Yeah, so Joey, you said, yeah, middle games is very important as well because that's part of the plan. You have to play with a good plan, right, to be able um, to have a good game, right? But I would say also um, I mean, did it happen to you that you lose a game very quickly? Like first 20 moves, 15 moves, you lose the game very quickly. You know why?
Because
Anyone?
we were playing too fast.
Right. And probably you don't know your openings, right? So as you know, in chess, there's two phases, right? And you to perform well, you have to play well the three phases, right? So the opening phase, middle game, like you said, and also the ending. The ending is very important. And I would say that the ending would probably be the most important phase because that's where you make the difference, right? Even though if you don't play well the opening, you play okay the middle game, but if you don't play well the ending, you will lose that game, the ending, right? But at your level, I think the opening is very important too because you cannot get into the ending if you don't play well the opening, right? You won't even get out of the opening in the first place. Okay, so
I
uh, yeah, go ahead.
I don't really have a repertoire. Like I just stick on to E4, C5 as black because
Exactly.
it's like because most of the teachers because when they start with the beginners as black they will first teach them the Sicilian defense.
Right, right.
So
No, you don't need to know like at your level. You don't need to know the opening per se, like Sicilian, Italian. You don't deep dive into that right away. What you
yeah,
need to know right now is that you have to know the basics, the rules of the openings, right?
yeah,
So
I know that for sure.
so the first thing I show you is the rules of the openings first, okay? Without going too much into details, and that you can look into any book on the openings, you will see it, right? But the five rules that you have to know in the opening. There's many rules, but if you know these five rules, you will already improve your game, okay? So take note if you need to. I think there's recording here, so you can go back and revisit what I say, okay? So basically, the five rules, if you respect these rules, you will have a playable opening already, right? So why you play e4, e5, d4, d5? Why is that? These moves have some um, significance,
I
right?
think I know
Oh,
why.
yeah. So the
Because of
first
the four
rule,
central squares. The E4, E5, it's like fighting for the center. And it's kind of
exactly,
like an
exactly. You
open.
got it. You got it. So the first rule is the center. Okay, so you have to remember why the center is important. The center is this square, right? If I move e4 here, so that means I occupy the center. This what is the center? The center is e4, d4, and e5, d5. Okay, these squares are very important on the board because why is that? From these squares, you can grab more spaces, basically, and you can your piece can have more powerful attack, right? Because, for example, okay, if I just move this like this, for example, right? Just move, just moving. Uh, so why is that very important? Because you see the knight in the center have many moves, right? And if you move the knight to just moving this around, right? If you move your knight right like this, it go back to the rim, right? And you can see why it's not that powerful. At A3, there's not many squares, right? So that's just to demonstrate to you that the center is very important. All right. So that's the first rule in the point. You want to occupy the center, or at least control the center. All right. So that's how you're going to build your repertoire, right? In opening. So the first rule is the center. So you see many great players play e4, d4. So why? Because that's the center, right? So that's the first rule. The second rule would be a tempo. The tempo in chess is very important. If you notice, at the end of the game, one player like can mate the other one just one move ahead of time, right? So the tempo is very important. So you don't want to lose many tempo in the opening. By saying that, that means you don't want to play one piece too many moves, right? So for example, you don't want to play something like this, right? And play something like this, for example, just, and this violate already in another rule. By playing the queen on h5, you exit your queen too early, and this is a target for attacking, right? And the queen needs to move back already, right? And many players might play this and try to take mate, and but it doesn't work, right? And then the queens needs to move back again. So you lose many tempo, right? Not this one, but oops, with my mouse. And already, sorry about that. Something wrong. If you go there, then there's already check, right? So that would be the second rule. You don't want to lose many tempo. And for example, playing things like, okay, so you want to move this again, right? For example, because why you want to move your bishop 2 times in opening, right? So this is a case that you lose some tempo in opening. So you don't want to don't do that, right?
Yeah, and you don't want to move like a piece twice in the opening
Exactly.
because because it gives a chance for the other opponent to attack. Like see that knight, the knight on f3 will pin that other
Yeah,
knight in c6, e3. You can go d back because the bishop's on c4. He
yeah,
like you'll have a good tempo. And
yeah,
I remember hearing Ivanchik once said the knight on the rim is dim.
exactly. Yeah, you got it. Okay, so that's the second rule. The first rule is the center. Second rule is a tempo development. So you want to develop all the pieces, right? Because this is considered chess game is an army. You want to develop the whole army before you can attack, right? So so that's the second rule. The first rule would be you don't want to move too many pawns neither, right? Because the when you move the pawn up, that means you want to develop open diagonal for your bishops, right? The reason why you want to move the pawns up because you want to develop the bishops, right? And you don't want to move all the pawns up because it's not necessary, right? So for example, e4, uh, and you want to move everything up like this, just throw in some move here, for example, right? And you want to move everything up like this. It's not necessary, right? Sometimes it's okay to do some pawn storm to attack, but as early as the beginning of the game is not recommended, okay? Because for example, if I continue like this and you continue to move up the pawn like this, you move too many pawns, then it's nothing is necessary. You're losing some tempo in this case, right? So this is all related to the tempo rules, right? So the most important thing is you want to develop more pieces than pawns, right? So I would say in the opening, you want to move like 2 or 3 moves with the pawn. Is that enough to develop all your pieces, right? So for instance, if
Excuse
I,
me.
yeah, go ahead,
Um.
Jenny.
For in the opening, if you move the pawns too much, they create holes too. If you move the pawns too much, they can create weaknesses
Yeah,
also.
exactly. And yeah, exactly. So for example, yeah, exactly right. If you move this like, the mace in two, right? If you move this, and there's a mace. So that just demonstrate what you just said, weakness in the back. When you move up, the pawn can not move back. So that's the thing too, right? The other piece can move back. If you make an errors, you can take back, right? So for example, um, yeah, you can move up, right? And you think it's not good, and you can move back, right? Somehow it's still possible, right? But when you move up the pawn, and there's no way to move that back, so you have to be really careful when playing with pawns. So it's exactly right. So that's the third rules I have here. So and the fourth rules would be I already demonstrate that you don't want to exit your queen too early, right? because the queen is the most value piece, right, on the board, and it will get attacked by the other pieces, right? Because I know Nakamura, the grandmaster, he played this once, but it's just try to do something, right? But it's not supposed to. But when you know the rule, you can break it, right? But you have to know the rule first. For example, right? So in this case, you can see the queen gets chased back. So I would say the general rule is that you don't want to exit your queen too early in the game because that's a target to attack by other minor pieces. Okay, and of course the last rule would be not the last one, but the fifth one would be king safety, right? You want to castle as much as possible, as soon as possible, right? So this is Spanish game, for example. Um, so here you want to castle, right? So this is our theory. So if black takes, right, and then there's might be some things like this, open, and you can see why are almost wins a piece here, right? So king safety would be the fifth rule, right? So if you remember these 5 rules, you will have respectable opening. Even
What
though
are
you
the
don't
5
know
rules again?
the 5 rules, the first one is the center. You want to grab space, the center. I repeat quickly with the demonstration. For example, against the French defense, you can play this, the center, right? And black will also try to fight the center with this, but this is another variations, advanced variations. First rule, the center and space. So with this, you see white has already an advantage in space. So when you have space advantage, you can maneuver your piece more easily, right? Okay. So first rule, center, space. Second rule would be a tempo development. You don't want to lose many tempo. You don't want to play one piece many times. For example, check. For example, you want to play here, right? And then A6, and then you move back, something like that. That would be a loss of tempo. Second rule. Third rule, not too many pawn moves, right? You can do in some of the variations, Sicilian defense, you can play pawn storm, but not right away, right? You can play in the middle game, but in the opening, it's necessary to open diagonals for your bishops, but not like you don't have to move like 4 or 5 pawn moves. Okay, that's the third rules. The fourth rules is the queen. You don't want to take your queen out too early, right? For a drive, it's not recommended because it would attack and drive back. And king safety would be a fifth one. All right, you got it.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, so with these 5 rules, there are many more rules, right? But with your level, with these 5, if you remember that, even if you don't know the opening, you can apply these rules, right? If you don't know, like if you play e4 and e5, you don't know what to play. For example, you say, okay, I need to develop a piece. I need to control the center. So any move like knight f3 would be a grandmaster move already, right? And you develop a piece, you attack the center, e5, or even you say, okay, I can play the center, I can play d4. This is a center gambit, right? And you don't even know the opening, but you play according to the rules, and this is the opening. And you can play here too. There's many moves. Bishop c4 is a bishop opening, and this is developing a piece. You respect rule number 2, and you control the center and d5. This means they cannot play d5 here, right? Because you control the center, right? And things like that. If you apply these rules, you will play the opening by automatically, right? And you have a good opening basically. Okay.
Oh, I got a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So then in the middle game, you can actually like close the center, like it's like black and white just like don't allow anything in the center. They just like just close it off. Can you do that? Like
Yeah, I mean there'll be a
in the
fight.
center?
There'll be a mutual fight in the center, right?
Yeah.
Like for example, I show you the French defense is the most um, the you can see that the fight in the center is visible right away, right? This case, right? Why black didn't play d6? because this is sitting the center already. You can see the
Yeah, and knight
space
of
behind.
three.
Right.
Yeah, knight of three can get like a classical. It's like I go knight c3, then I go
Like that, right?
e3, bishop e3. Yeah,
So you can
like
see why can develop a very quick attack here. For example, I'll just show you something. Right. So for example, yeah, you can push e5 already, attack the knight on f6. Okay, and sometimes it goes back. And you already can maybe have some ideas on this idea, just ideas, not right away, with some idea, right? So, for example, just show you some ideas as well. For example, yeah, I mean, this is good. This is good enough, right? And sometimes you play like this, and if play like this, you can play something like this already, and you can even attack right away, right? And this is how you generate your attack when you occupy the center, right? And drive the knight away from the defensive post at f6. And now you can have a mating attack, right? So the center is very important throughout the game. Who controls the center better will have a better game, for sure, right? And control the center doesn't mean occupy it neither, right? Sometimes there's this opening that you control the center by distance, right? Bishop b2, you attack the center already. And sometimes you can do this. This is an opening, b3 opening, right? And sometimes this is some idea like this. Even before you attack the center, it goes here and you push, right? So this is indirectly controlling the center. All right. Any questions before we go to the next?
Oh, is it possible to do it on the other side?
With black, yeah, of course. With black, you will also, for sure, your tempo behind, right? So that means you are more on the defensive side. But you will fight for the center as well. For example, why? Go ahead.
No, I mean, like, can you do it on the king side?
On the black side?
No, like, I mean, can you do it on the king side instead of the
On the
queen?
king, on the king side? Yeah, sure. You mean g3?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. This is also the opening. You attack like this, right? You attack the center like this, and this way you control the diagonal already, right? And if black is not careful, you can already pick up, like for example, you can already pick up this pawn, right? And you can see how you play on the king side and create this diagonal for the bishops by attacking the center, right? So this is all doable. So just think about the center. That will already improve the game. Okay. Now, once you know the basic rules like this, you want to go deeper in a little bit deeper in your repertoires. How to build your repertoires. So basically, once you know the basics, you can try many moves. First of all, from the white perspective, right? You can play this move. You can play e4. You can play d4. So this is by the rule is okay, right? You control the center. Even c4. You see many games, grandmasters play this move, and I just show you b3 as well. Or you can even play g3 and control the center by the diagonal, fianchetto your bishops, right? And even knight f3 is good. So all these move, on this first move is good because it respect the rules, control the center, developing a piece. So as white, you have to build your repertoire. Basically, if you want to become an expert or even advanced players, you want to deep dive a little bit more into the opening, right? So how to do that? So you have to ask these questions when you build your repertoires because it's based on your preference, basically. And the preference is normally who you are, right? So different people have different tastes of the openings. For myself, I play every openings. Like I play e4, d4, c4. For 30 years, I played many openings, right? So I don't have like a preference, but when you control the center, you're okay. But I'm probably more the D4 players. This is more close game. So when you build your repertoires, how do you build your repertoires? Okay, because once you have your repertoire, this will help you to save a lot of time in the opening already. Okay, so these questions I will ask for you, right? You will have to ask for yourself when you build your repertoires. What kind of questions you will have to ask? Because like again, this is based on your preference. It's the taste, how you want to play opening. It depends on your style, right? So the first question you would ask for yourself when you build your repertoires is that what is your style? Is that do you like open or closed games, right? Do you like tactics or strategy, positional? Do you like a solid game or you like a gambit game? You like territorial game or you like wide open game, right? So those kind of things you have to ask yourself when you build your repertoires, right? So I would say if you like open games, so that's how we call this open repertoires. E4 is open because it's more open because you can play against black. You can play C5, which is the most popular defense with black, right? So that means you can open right away the center like this. It's so-called open. You can see a lot of openings in this
I
positions
played
because
G6 mostly. After knight C6, I played G6.
I'm sorry, say it again.
After like C5, after like knight f3, like what people usually play, I go knight C6, the
Oh,
old
knight
Sicilian.
c6, yeah, of course. Knight c6 is a classical Sicilian games, which is perfectly fine. But
Yeah,
that's another variations, right? But the d6 is the more knight up because the knight could go to, for example, the knight could go to this if you want, right? So knight c6, the problem is people probably don't like this move, right? Probably don't like this move. And you know the number 2 player in the world that he played this. Fabi, he played this move. Right? Bishop b5 is a good variance for white as well. So if you don't want to play this, you don't play knight c6. So again, it depends on your taste of the openings. So, but just let me get back to the general principle here. So this is the open, so-called open games. Right? E4, when you open E4, that means probably you're more tactical player. You like more tactics, right? So, you know, all the tactical player love E4. Myself, I love E4. But D4 is another type of positions, right? When you play D4, it is more slow, but it's built on a lot of positional taste too. This kind of close games, right? When you play D4, it's close.
Excuse me.
Yeah, go ahead.
What about the English opening?
English is C4. English is a close game too. English could be transposed to a lot of things. So it could transpose to E5, which is a reverse Sicilian. This is good questions, basically, because that's just what I'm going to tell you. Sometimes when you build your repertoire also, if you like the Sicilian defense, you might start with the English openings because this is a reverse Sicilian, basically, right? And if you like the Sicilian too much, you can play with tempo up. Why not? Right? And when black takes the challenge, that means you have the Sicilian reverse with white. And this is perfectly playable and it's even very good for white, right? So you can have like a tempo up in this type positions, right?
So it's basically playing the Sicilian with. So it's basically playing the Sicilian a tempo up.
Exactly. But the things, the doubt about this is that you might not get that, right? You might have to face C5, for example. This is a symmetrical English. It could be boring. It could be very positional, right? Go ahead. Yeah.
Can you play like this, like variation E4?
E4. Yeah.
C5?
Sure.
Knight f3,
Yeah.
knight c6,
Yeah.
d4,
E4.
d4.
D4. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, take, and then no wait, not the knight capture. No wait, knight capture. Yeah, the knight capture the pawn.
Yeah.
And then g6.
Yeah. This is a Sicilian.
Then
defense.
knight takes c6.
Oh, knight takes c6.
And then b takes c6.
Oops. Small slip. Yeah.
And then queen d4. Yeah, what do you like play?
Yeah. This, I don't think this is dangerous for black. First of all, because black has a good center anyway, right?
Yeah, but what can black like do?
Well, it looks like almost a fox move here.
How about e5?
Five.
And then e6.
E6.
Knight to f6.
It's yeah, there's many moves here, right? You can play even f6 is not that, it's okay. Or you can go back knight f6. Tax.
Yeah, but isn't like the king weak? It's on f7.
Not really, because what compensate black is the big center. You can see we already talked about the center, right? You see the 3 pawns here. Why cannot do this, right? Because check, because there's a block right there, right? And you can see the big center will play a big role in black position. It's not that dangerous. I don't think that's dangerous for black. Also, I show you these openings too, right? This is very similar. This is a trap in the opening normally. The same thing here, right? I don't know if you know this. Anybody knows about this opening? So
they play knight e4, right?
exactly. So you might say, okay, the king is weak, yeah, but the center compensate fully. You can see the center is very strong, and black has no problem at all. The next thing is h6, and then you can see black can already, maybe if he wants, can take this right away, right? But maybe keep the bishops and just develop. And with the pair bishop and the big center, this is proved to be advantage for black already. Okay. So your questions about Sicilian defense, the dragon, right? G6. So this is the auxiliary dragon. But no, the normal dragon would be knight f6. G6. Right. Okay, so we don't go into much in details because you can take any books and that can show you how you play this opening. But to my point, let's go back. So there's many openings, right? The thing is, I would like you to think about how to build your repertoires, right? Because with all the principles we know, you have to see what is your taste of the openings, right? So, and the reverse opening was one of the things I also want to talk about. Like you want to play Sicilian, this might be a good thing to do. Aria, you have a question?
No question.
No? Okay. Any other questions?
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So normally when I play my friends at school, they normally play pawn to a4. Is that a good opening or a bad opening?
A4 like this.
Yeah. So like
I just told you about the principle, right? So this is a very bad move. Why? Because it has nothing to do with the center, right? We just say
oh yeah.
this doesn't open the diagonal anything. It's just open. For example, for you cannot
It
even
doesn't
play
like
this.
take control of the center.
Yeah, you can play this, right? And then you can already
And
lose.
then it's already done.
Okay. When are we going to the game?
Yeah, Joy.
When are we going
Question?
to the game?
Okay, I can. Let me finish this one, and we can show you the game. All right. So just to have a final thoughts on all of this, we still have 20 minutes. Okay. So what you want to build your repertoire, you have to ask these questions, like I said, right? You have to ask about. Go ahead. No question.
I've seen a video. It's called "Never Underestimate the Crab Opening," and then it shows A4 and H4.
Yeah, I know, but you have to know the rules before. At your level, we want to play the rules before, right? Because after that, you can break any rules you want once you understand the rule. Okay. But if you play A4, H4,
Crab opening. Oh, I know what that is, but I don't think it's worse than the bomb
that's
cloud.
crap. If you really want to improve your game in long term, you don't want to play some crap openings. Okay. So that's my opinion. All right.
Yeah,
So
I wouldn't play anything like that. It just doesn't look good enough.
right. Okay, so just to finish with this, so you have some homework to do after this, right? You have to build your repertoire. You want to ask some questions, how you want to play the opening, and then you build your repertoire based on that. Based on the 5 rules I just show you, based on the taste that you want to play, open or close game, tactic or strategic, a solid game or gambit game, board game or just a carry call game, things like that, right? And then some reverse opening too. If you like too much decision, you might play the English, right? And try to build your repertoire on that. All right. So any questions before we go to see one game? I want to show you one classic game. No questions? All right. So let's take a look at this game. This game is really a very good game. I want to show you. This is a very classic between Rubinstein and Rod Louis. It was a very long time ago. It's 1907, so it's like more than 100 years ago, right? But Rubinstein is a very strong player. He probably is the strongest player ever become a world champion. Because what happened to him is that he was very strong um, towards the years of the Second World War, like in the year 40s, right? And if you know a little bit about history, in the 40s there was a World War II, and he was probably the strongest player. And there's no world championship, right, because of the war. And after that, Ali King was still a world champion after the war. So anyway, I show you this game. This is a very impressive game, and you see how also um, the champions play the game by the rule, right? You just show the opening. Okay, so Robinson has black. First move d4, d5. So you can see right away, both sides try to grab the center, right? Try to occupy the center. Already they know the rules back then, more than 100 years ago. So it's very good. This is so-called Queen's Gambit, Queen's Gambit decline. Normally, there's other moves like c4 here. It could be variations. Oops. Anyway, let's move the game. See the game. Knight f3. So this is good move is good. You learned your rules already. This is towards the center. So e6. Yeah, you can see black try to open the diagonal for the bishops on f8, right? So e6. The drawback about this move is that it's blocked the bishop on c8, right? So the bishop could have moved out, bishop f5, bishop g4 first, but this is completely playable too, right? This is respecting all the rules. e3, okay, so this is a classical Queen's Gambit, almost a Tarrasch defense by black. I don't know if you know this opening, but basically it's very symmetrical, but white still have one tempo right ahead. Knight c6, knight c3. You can see white still have one tempo with the knight on f3, right? Now f6, completely symmetrical most position, but white still had one move. Okay, d takes c5. So this is a little bit of the errors, right? Because normally white would wait for black to move the bishops to capture this pawn, so to win the tempo, basically, right? So capture is not the best move.
Can white go b3 then bishop b2 instead of taking?
I'm sorry?
Can white go b3 then bishop b2?
b3, yeah, it could do that. Yeah, white can do that. b3, bishop e2, bishop b2, and that could be a playable position. Bishop c5, a3. Okay, so now it's like a gambit, the queen's gambit accepted reverse by white. Okay, if you know this opening, it's a little bit reverse. a6, move up. Okay, so far so good. I mean, it's not a big mistake by white, but while losing like a tempo by doing d takes c right away, it could have wait for to play bishop e2, for example, and then right now the bishop is already on e2, right? Castle, queen d2. So you can see black respect already everything is opening, right? You put development of pieces, king in safety, and the queen is just play now, right? So you can see black play all the good moves up to now. White is not too bad, but white plays some unnecessary moves like d takes c right away, and the queen d2 is probably not the best square either, right? So why delay castling, right? Castle. Why is that? It's already almost violate the fifth rule, which is king safety. The king is still in the middle of the game, right? In the middle of the ball.
Can't white win a free pawn?
I'm sorry?
Can't you get a free pawn by c takes d5? C takes d5 is a free pawn, right?
It's very risky. C takes d5, c takes d5, knight takes d, knight takes d, queen takes d5, and rook d8. Right, and you can see even bishop takes b4 is probably good enough. You guys can see it.
Yeah. There's
right?
a discovered check if you.
Yeah, and then the bishop on b2 is lost, right? So again, c takes d, c takes d.
Knight takes.
Knight takes d, knight takes d, queen takes d, bishop takes b4, a takes b, queen takes b4. Oh,
Block
king
with queen.
d2. Yeah, king d2 is not good enough. But what is good enough is c takes d, c takes d, knight takes d, knight takes d5, queen takes d5, rook d8, and black has a lot of good compensations. And the kings needs to move back, right? And this is all right. So Yeah, let's move on. Bishop d3. Takes. So you can see almost symmetrical, except that the queen on d2 is not the optimum place for the queen because it's on the open file, you know, right? And once black put the rook on d8, is feel risky for the queen. You can see this right away here, right? Okay, so you can see queen d2, king e2, and you can see easily the position black won many tempo, right? Even with black, you have a move behind, but now it looks like black is like 3 moves ahead. You can see it, right? So the queen's only on e7, the rook is already on d8, and black already castle. So it's like 3 moves ahead of time. Even though the bishop is still not on b2, so it's like 2 moves, basically. Right? So you see what happens now. Okay. All right. So black is two tempo ahead because of what? Because they respect all the open rules. They didn't move a piece 2 times. And white did, right? White did move the queen on d2 and e2. You can see it's very important not to lose the tempo. Knight e5. Knight takes, takes. f4. So f4 is very risky move, right? You can see again we mentioned about this. When you move the pawn up, you leave behind some weaknesses, and you will see what happens. Here, e4. So far so good. And general rules about the rooks, right? The rooks, you want to occupy open farms, right? So you can see Rubinstein understand how powerful are the rooks on open farm. So you see both rooks from the black side, they already on open farm. So they're ready to strike. E5. So you see why we're pushing pawns, right? So it doesn't do much. It's create weaknesses in the back, basically. Bishop check. Kings go here. So now it starts to be very interesting now, right? You can see if white takes the knight, then rook takes d3, right? And it's open diagonal for the queens to go up to h4, right? Okay, so now they try to block. So let me see, 21. So I have to stop somewhere. Okay, not yet. Okay, because the mate on h2. Sorry, you guys just see that, right? So let's pause for 30 seconds. Think about what is the move, even though you just saw it.
Wait, are we supposed to find a winning move?
Yeah.
Isn't it rook takes c3? Rook takes knight c3.
Yeah, you have to do the follow-up, right? Calculate a little bit. Rook takes c3. If bishop takes c3, what happens?
Bishop takes e4 because the queen can't take, otherwise checkmate.
That's right, exactly. Okay, so you got it. So so if they take your queen, because the queen is attacked on h4, right? If rook takes c3, then white take the queen, so what happens? G take h4. What would you do?
Rook d2.
Rook c2.
Rook d2.
Rook d2.
Yeah, because if queen takes, then you can take bishop on e4 with checkmate. Well, rook blocks, then you take again. Then queen blocks.
Is there any option after rook d2?
Queen e1.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just take on h2 checkmates with rook.
Yeah, because you can see the bishop pair is really strong in this position, right? It's looking at the white king, and you can see the drawbacks when white pushing on the pawns up, right? This is the mistake that many players play. Many beginners, they just push up the pawns and create weaknesses in the back. This is exactly what happens. Okay, and so I think you got. So white has no choice, right? Because bishop takes rook. Then let you say bishop takes bishop on e4, and then there's a mate on h2. So there's no, has to take the queen, and you got rook d2. How beautiful is this? So you put all your pieces on threes. The c3 is on threes, d2, and the knight on g4. The thing is that white cannot take either piece, right?
Yeah, the queen is overworked. It's protecting the bishop and the h2
it's
square.
Overworked. Yeah, it's overworked, right? So so there's no way to avoid mate here. Queen take g4, bishop take e4, mate. Bishop take d2, king rook take e2, and then rook take h2, mate, right?
Can white give back material?
I'm sorry.
After he takes queen takes d2, then bishop takes e4, then queen g2.
And
yeah,
fight the move. You don't even want to take the queen. What is a good move?
Knight check, knight f2.
Is it rook?
Pause. Think about 1 minute. I give you 1 minute to think about this. Is a very beautiful move. You have to fight it.
Rook c2.
Yeah, you have to follow up.
Rook c2.
Rook c2, maybe rook g1. Maybe.
It's not rook c2. No, it's not. How is it rook c2? How? Like
after rook g1, then knight f2 checkmate, because the queen is pinned and the king is smothered.
Knight f2, mate. Okay. So rook c2. Is there anything else we can do?
No, knight. You can go. You can take the queen with the bishop. And then after that, no.
But that doesn't.
Yeah, rook c2 might be another good move, but let's think about it.
Knight f2. Knight f2.
Rook h3.
Rook.
So
I attack
who say rook h3?
I did.
Who's that?
Abdullahi.
Yes, you got it. So the most beautiful moves, I think rook c2 might work as well.
No, but rook h3 is something like if you go rook h3, then
yeah, it's a beautiful move, right?
Oh my god.
And I think rook c2 fails to rook f3.
Oh yeah, there's rook f3. That's right.
Why can't you just take on f3 with bishop?
Yeah.
Because queen still can't take.
Exactly. So this is really beautiful. This move is a very beautiful move. It's double exclam, right? Because white cannot do anything. Yeah, rook c2, there's rook f3. Yeah.
Rook f2.
Yeah, even rook f2 maybe. But rook f2, rook takes f2.
Rook c2, rook f3, then bishop takes f3. Isn't that still a winner for black?
Yeah, it's still winning. Yeah, you're right. But this one also wins, so both wins. All right, so this is a very beautiful game. If you don't know this game before, this is something you can look back in any database, and you can play back the moves and enjoy. Okay, so 5 more minutes. Any questions before we wrap up? So this is good. And you guys have any questions? I'm open up for any questions, not related to this one, but any general questions you might have for chess in general. With my 30 years of experience, I can maybe tell you a couple of times how you want to improve your game.
Can I play a game against you?
Sorry, say it again.
Can I play a game against you?
You can play again against, yeah, for sure. You can ask me. My nick on chessboard.com is btn70, and you can add me btn70 like this. You can request me btn70 like this. Okay.
How long do you practice per day?
How long you should practice per day? I would say 1 or 2 hours at least. Especially you have to practice your tactics, right? Because that will help you for calculations. And calculation is a big deal in chess. You know that.
What was your username again? BTN73.
BTN70. Yeah, I put it in. All right. So, any other questions? Don't be shy.
Oh, wait, can we go to one of my games too?
Oh, you want to play a game now? Oh, we can play a quick game if you want.
Sure, can I play after?
But we have to go in 2 minutes. Right? Have to play quick. Go ahead. You know some openings. Issue with my mouse. Oops. Mouse slip. It's okay. You guys can talk. If you want to talk, you're welcome to. Okay, so let's see.
I feel like White traded too many pieces.
I'm sorry?
White traded too many pieces.
Trade too many pieces?
Yeah, he should have attacked more.
But you have a bad structure, right? So that will hurt your. That will hurt the ending for sure. You're not under 15. You're almost 1800. Not bad.
He used to be 1900, but he dropped.
Yeah, you're good. I mean,
I have a question. Can we go?
yeah, you can go. And I think I have to go too, probably.
Okay.
I would play a few more.
This is actually a pretty interesting game.
Yeah, I know. It
Can
will.
I play you after this game?
No, I have to go, kids. I have to
Okay.
go. I have a long day, working day, so I have to go.
Okay.
You can stay, you can go. My next class will be on the ending. I'll show you how to play the ending.
King of 3 was better than H3.
So the ending, you have to activate your king.
Yeah, King F3 would have stopped King E4, and you could have played E4 yourself with check.
King F3, A4 is a fork. You lose your rook, right? You cannot do king.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So it's pretty bad. Be in just one. Yeah, rook ending is important to learn.
Yeah, it's over. White played horribly,
Yeah,
even with the mouse slip.
yeah, you have to be active in rook endings and kings. But well played. I mean, I got a mouse slip.
I beat White 10 times in a row before. Do you know that?
What do you say?
I beat White 10 games in a row before.
Oh yeah. Can I quit? All right. Thank you very much, folks, and hope you enjoyed the session. And hopefully see you next time. We good?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Bye bye, everyone.
Bye.
Can I leave?